AT fans, it's Monk, and today's trail bite is on taking care of your dogs on the Appalachian Trail. Now, I don't mean dogs, woof woof, I mean these kind of dogs. It's estimated you take 5 million steps over the course of a 2,190 mile through hike. So that's a lot of pounding on the feet. And I was very concerned. I wanted to make sure I wanted to limit my blisters, and I wanted to make sure I had selected the right footwear. Now, I won't go into different kinds of footwear because, you know, there's exhaustive information available on that subject. Just Google it, through hiker footwear, and you're just gonna have to try it out and find out what's best for you. But I can tell you the mistake I made was, I have a wide foot, and for whatever reason, it's extremely difficult to find trail shoes in widths. I don't know why that is, but it is. My original choice and what I trained in was the Ultra Lone Peak. But I started getting my plantar fasciitis really spiked up, and the zero drops are not good for plantar fasciitis, by the way, just FYI, if that's an issue for you. But honestly, by the end of the through hike, I didn't even care about my plantar fasciitis anymore. I just cared about my knees, and I had so many other things that was bugging me that I just kept soldiering on. But the shoe I settled on was an Asics here. This is not the original pair, but this is the one I used because it came in a width. But what I failed to do was go on a long section hike going up and down. So in Georgia, I quickly found out that it was the wrong shoe. Like, just walking on it or doing a hike for a day or two, it seemed fine. But when I got to Georgia, that they have large up and down hills, and my feet got abused. I ended up losing 5 toenails, and I didn't get blisters because that's something I'm gonna cover in a minute, but it was just the wrong shoe for me. So I ended up going back to Ultras, and this is the Olympus model, and this worked really well for me. I switched to this when I got to Southern Virginia, and it took me all the way to Katahdin. Not this particular shoe. This is the shoe I climbed Katahdin with, but I went through 3 other pairs because they also tend to fall apart, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But it worked, and that's all I really cared about. And they're really good, by the way, too. If your shoe does fall apart, they will send you a fresh pair. Now, as far as blisters, one thing I learned from, I think it was from Bigfoot, was to wear a sock liner with the little toes here. I kind of call it like a sock glove. And this is made by Injinji. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but here you can see. Injinji. Just remember this, okay? Google it. That worked fantastic. And the sock I used was the Darn Tough sock that's made in Vermont. I never even had to change these. I used the same pair. I actually had 2 pairs, but the same pair throughout the entire through hike. Worked fantastic. I only had 1 blister that I got, and I think that was unrelated to my system. So I cannot recommend more highly a sock liner and the Darn Tough socks and picking the right footwear. And the one thing I would do differently is once I got my footwear, I would go out for at least 7 days, going up and down some good mountains and really testing those shoes out. Because I regretted doing that and paid a price for that. So that's today's Monk Bite on footwear. Monk out.